Hello my Scrappy friends, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for Confessions of a Paper Addict design team layout. So this is my second page or my second layout of my son's birthday. So you will be forgiven if you start watching this and think, hang on, have I seen this layout before? Hopefully you don't have your subtitles on and just skip past me because you think you've already seen this one. But I am doing a matching background. So it is the same style of background as I did last week, so that when these two layouts are side by side next to each other, they kind of look like they match. I have sort of perfected this a little bit better than I did the first one. Not a huge amount better, but a little bit. I'm having less run-ins or run-togethers of the colours this week or this time. Oh, except that one. So it's the same concept. I'm pouring out a little bit of the spray, the spritz, using my paintbrush to help kind of blend it into a rectangular type shape, and then tipping my page up to let it run down. Last time I worked in a box. This time I am working straight on my desk, but I have a bunch of paper towel folded up into a rectangle that I'm laying across the bottom of my page, so that when I tip it up on an angle, if it runs all the way down to the bottom of my page, there is some paper towel there to catch it. I'm not 100% sure this time if I want it to run all the way down to the bottom of the page. I'm kind of deciding if I like the idea of just having the drips run part of the way down the page. Now, I'm using a variety of brands and colours today. I have got Distress Oxides, I have got Lindy's, I think, I have got Dilution Sprays. I have just got a whole bunch of different brands and everything, just all in those shades of blue and green. I really love throwing in those two. You can see them quite clearly, those two super, super shimmery ones. I just think that adds a really nice effect, especially next to the Distress Oxides, which are a lot, I guess, flatter and a lot less shimmery and sparkly. I just love the contrast in colour that gives to the little mixed media patch there that's happening in the middle of the page. I am then getting those same ink, same sprays, and I am splashing a bit of the colour above and below the little mix here, just to sort of spread that beautiful paint across the page, a bit of controlled splatters. And I'm really happy with the way this came together. I then flicked a little bit of water. This is just water, and that's just to give that water droplet effect, especially on those Distressed Oxide inks. So that has dried, and as I mentioned before, you can definitely see the shimmer in those dilution sprays, and you can also see that sort of flatness, the contrast to that flatness, especially these two blues because they're right next to each other, of the Distress Oxides. And I love that effect. I just love how it varies, and it just almost gives that little bit of texture and dimension again to the rest of your page, which I think is really fun. This little cut file here is called the Party Critter, and of course I will link him in the description box down below in the Etsy cut file shop, and I will of course just link the cut file shop itself, because oh my goodness you guys, there are over 1,000 cut files over in the cut file store at the moment, and with Christmas fast approaching, I know that there will be quite a few new releases coming out during Christmas. So definitely make sure you keep that link handy so you can pop on over and check out what is around. I actually cut this Party Critter cut file a long time ago, like months and months. July, possibly. I cut this thinking that I would use it for my husband's birthday, or I possibly even cut it in February thinking that I would use it for Jack's birthday. Like, I cut it a really long time ago, and I ended up going in a different direction or using a different cut file, I believe. And I held on to it because I loved it so much. I just had it in a little box, knowing one day I'm going to be able to use this one. And when I was making last week's layout, I thought at first I would only make one single layout of Tom's birthday. And then I remembered this cut file and remembered how cute his birthday was. I was like, no, this is perfect. So I dug it out of the box and love these double page spreads together. They're not even next to each other exactly in the album. There's a PL spread in between, but it just all flows together and I just love it. I think they look so cute together. I think because they're the same collection and the mixed media in the background is basically the same, they just flow together so beautifully. I'm not usually a double page gal, but I do love the way these look. So in my brain, I made them as two separate layouts, but with a similar sort of theme or pattern or, a background, I guess. It's kind of like making the same layout with the same background paper, which really is just a double page spread. But the layout of them and the placement of everything is individual to each page. Whereas I know quite often in double page spreads, you kind of make them so they match or flow together. Mine haven't specifically done that, but they do look so cool. What else can I tell you? I'm just playing around with the thickers that come with this collection. I figure Cake Day is perfect for this fun photos here where we made the swimming pool cake from, if you're Australian, from the Women's Weekly Cookbook. It's kind of a blend of the Women's Weekly Cookbook, the new Women's Weekly Cookbook with the updated, like the same cakes but like in the updated version. And then I also, of course, just Pinterest and YouTubed and just saw how some other people put their own little flair on it. And I kind of combined them all. But it definitely is a tradition of ours that started when I was a kid to sit down at the table with the Women's Weekly Cookbook, flick through the pages and choose the one you like. And Thomas was 100% set on this swimming pool cake. Now, he doesn't really eat cakes. He always is just like a normal kid and eats the icing off but doesn't eat the cake. So I actually did this as a Woolworths cake hack because I knew no one was going to eat the cake anyway. They just wanted all the lollies and the chocolate biscuits up the side. So I am so thrilled with the way it turned out, and I am so thrilled with the way this layout turned out. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click that description box down below to check out the links for the Etsy Cutfiles store as well as the Facebook group, and I'll see you next week.